today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be going over the current gadgets that you can get hold of in 2025 that do pen testing / ethical hacking / red teaming. So to start, I thought I would look at some of the cheaper gadgets that I've bought this year. First of all, we'll look at the Proxgrind RF field detector. Now, what is the Proxgrind RF field detector? It is a compact, passive tool designed to detect the presence of RFID fields. It's especially useful for professionals in cybersecurity, hardware development, and physical penetration testing. So if you wanted to, say, know the frequency of a card reader, this little tool will very simply do that for you. The LED glows up for either 125 kHz or 13.56 MHz. To test the Proxgrind RF field detector, we take our flipper 0 here, we go into the menu, we click on 125 kHz RFID, and we click on read. And if you turn the flipper 0 over and place it on here, you can see that 125 kHz is lighting up. Now if we go back to our flipper 0 here, and we move over to NFC, and then we click read. Again, we turn it over, you put this on here, and you can see 13.5 kHz there is lighting up. Next, we are going to look at the Ghost ESP C5, which is being run on the ESP32 C5 development board inside the absolutely beautiful Tron Cases ESP32 C5 case with SD card reader. Now, the case costs around £15. In dollars, that's just over $20. Shipping may differ depending on your area. And the ESP32 C5 development board costs somewhere between £12 and £20, depending on where you go to buy it. On AliExpress, it stays around about the £15 mark. Not sure how much that would be in dollars, but somewhere around 20. Next, we are going to look at some zero trace devices, which are an alternative to the Hak5 rubber ducky made by Zero Trace, and you can find them at www.zerotrace.pw. Now, currently they offer two physical variety options, the standard model and the mini model. Now, the mini model was designed in part in conjunction with Ghost Strats, who's a YouTube channel I thoroughly recommend. Now, this device is really neat, and it comes in around £35 for the standard edition and £55 for the mini. So, on the lower end of gadget prices, this comes in at £35, and as I said, this can be used as a USB rubber ducky, so it can be used for key capture, but it can also be plugged into a host computer, where you can then wirelessly execute payloads or commands to that host computer to do amusing little things like a rickroll, or to do more practical things like install Microsoft Windows updates and do network activities. Going over to the Zero Trace website, we can see the Zero Trace kit comes in at only €35, and it is a beginner-friendly entry device for keystroke injection and automation. And as you can see, there's a few images from Ghost Strats there, who's also helping develop payloads, and also helped, as I said, design the mini case here. So the product details of the Zero Trace kit is, as I said, an entry-level keystroke injection device designed for beginners and those new to automation. It provides essential features with an easy-to-use interface, making it perfect for learning and experimentation. It has a web UI and live script editing, so this makes it stand out from a lot of the other competition to the USB rubber ducky. Both the USB rubber ducky from Hak5 and the Zero Trace standard kit has its own web UI and live script editing, so you can edit and deploy scripts directly from the web interface. It also has a cross-platform compatibility, so it works seamlessly with Windows, macOS, and Linux hosts. It has fast USB emulation, so it emulates keyboard, mouse, and other HID devices with minimal latency. And it also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi integration, so it combines Bluetooth Low Energy and Wi-Fi for hybrid attacks. Looking at the specifications, we can see that it's running an ESP32S3. It has 10 megabytes of inbuilt storage, and it's running Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN, which essentially means it's Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, and it's running Bluetooth 5.0, and it's USB-C powered. Well, the standard kit has 2 ports. It has one for, I don't know if you can see that there, but it's got one for USB and one for communication. So continuing in the under £50 category, next up we have the Tron Cases 5 GHz Deauther, which I've already done a full review on in my video, which you can find in the description. This is a nifty little 5 GHz dual band Deauther, and you can attack or deauth multiple networks simultaneously. And it's just a fun little device. You can plug this into a power bank, or you can plug it into your phone, and it can also be controlled over serial. Next up we have the ESP32 Marauder copy, which can be found on AliExpress, which I've also done a previous video on, which you can find in the description. Now this comes in at around £25 to £45 on AliExpress, but I do add a new warning with this device. I really wanted to get my hands on the actual Honey Labs copy, so I did order a second one, but they took a long time to order. Then I got a notification saying I need to pay more for postage, because they've been working hard on making a new model. So the one that you see now, I don't know if this one is still available. They've upgraded this one to now include a GPIO at the bottom, a boot button by the looks of it, since the hole in the back, and it's got a more rounded shape. It looks also now, it costs a little bit more money, and instead of coming with the small antennas, it now comes with quite large, like regular Wi-Fi antennas. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'm presuming the addition of the GPI port and the boot port means that this device either won't come with firmware on it when it's shipped to anyone in the UK or Europe, or alternatively, they will ship it with the firmware, but you now have the option to remove it or add other firmware, so the device isn't specifically for one thing. As with the version I've bought, it can only run Marauder. I mean, there might be a way of getting something on there, but it has no GPIO port, and the USB-C port connects only to the battery. So maybe if there's something I could do via the SD card, but via SD I can update Marauder. But I wouldn't really recommend using this for anything else. It's okay for what it is, but if you have the budget, I would very much recommend going to Just Call Me KoKo's website and buying the official thing from there. It'll be much better, I promise. And lastly, in the under £50 range, we have the Rabbit Labs Phantom, which I've also done a previous video on, which you can find in the description. Now this, when I bought it at the time, it was around about £35 with free shipping. Now you can check out the current prices at rabbit-labs.com. Next up on the list is an interesting one. This is the Lilygo TDEC CC1101. Now in the price range, I would have originally put it under £50, but on Amazon I bought this one for around £60 in black, and then I got the clear one off Banggood for around £40. But user experience will vary depending on where you get it from, and the prices seem to fluctuate, but on AliExpress they seem to also be over £60. The Lilygo TDEC CC1101 is a compact and versatile development board designed for IoT and wireless communication projects. What that essentially means, this is a bit of a copy of a Flipper Zero. Now, one caveat is a limitation of this device: it can't emulate RFID and NFC, it can only read and write. But it does include Wi-Fi, so it includes an ESP32 chip, which gives it 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, and it also contains Bluetooth, which the Flipper Zero does not have. Now, the firmware running on here is Bruce. Bruce has to be installed separately, and it doesn't come with the device. But I will make a video that will be coming out soon, which will be a full review of this device, including how to install the Bruce firmware on it when you get it, because it doesn't come with it out of the box. So as you can see here, the Bruce firmware has options for quite a few cool things, but built into it, it doesn't have these features yet. So Bruce can support an FM radio, but this device doesn't have it. But they have brought out a new one. Well, I say new, it looks like it could have come out in February, but I haven't seen this before. A Lilygo T-Embed CC1101 Plus, which also includes NRF24, which should be really interesting. I'll try and get that one if I can, but a video of this one will be coming out soon. Now another device in the roughly £50 category is the InfiShark BLEShark Nano, and this is the device in all its glory. Now I don't have it with me or able to show you at the moment as it's on pre-order, and I hope to get it in the next month or so. Now the Americans and the Canadians will be getting this much sooner than those in Europe, the UK and the rest of the world. But this is a really interesting Wi-Fi/Bluetooth device that also has infrared built in. So the BLEShark Nano is a compact, powerful tool built for pen testers, tech enthusiasts, and cybersecurity beginners. It's packed with features like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi spamming, deauthentication attacks, captive portals, and infrared control for TVs, AC, LEDs, etc. Now, one caveat. Since the beginning of August, the new European, possibly UK laws have come into effect, which means that for European and possibly UK customers, the BLEShark Nano will not be coming with any deauth capabilities, and it also won't have Evil Portal included to be compliant with European law. Scrolling down, we can see the design of it. It's a beautiful clear case. I wish I'd have got this one, but I went with black. It has a 0.66-inch OLED display. It has a battery switch for turning it on and off. I hope that does truly disconnect it from the battery, otherwise you will get battery drainage over time. It's got USB-C for charging. If it had anything else, I wouldn't recommend it. And it's running a Xiao ESP32 C3 chip, like several other devices on the market currently, except for the form factor of this one is much smaller, and I find it quite neat. Now it has BLE spam, Wi-Fi AP spam, deauth testing, deauth attack checker, captive portals, bad Bluetooth, and evil portal. And this one will be coming out soon. If you want to get hold of one, you'll have to pre-order now, as I believe soon that the pre-orders will end and it won't become available again until it becomes available for regular purchase. So going up to roughly £60, including shipping, around about £50 before, but I know with the release of the Kiisu V4B that prices have changed slightly, so it is around £60 now before shipping. We have another Flipper Zero alternative. This time it comes in the form factor of a credit card, and it's such a cute little device. It's called the Kiisu, which means cat in Estonian. Now again, I have pre-ordered this device. It is on its way to me, but the shipping's taking a little while, so I'll have this one in the studio soon to do a full review on. But the tagline here is one card to unlock them all. It's a multi-purpose development board in the size of a credit card with Flipper Zero capabilities. Rather than compatibilities, it's essentially a Flipper Zero clone of sorts that can run the full Flipper Zero software. It's sold as a development board, so it doesn't come with a case, but advertising Tron Cases again, Tron has developed and designed and made available a beautiful looking case for the Kiisu, which I can show you on screen right now. Now showing you on screen is one of the current designs for the Kiisu case by Tron Cases. It comes with a 3D printed case to protect the development board, which screws on, as you can see at those little points, and it also comes with this awesome slider case for full protection for your everyday carry. And in these photos you can also see that Tron has soldered an SMA antenna on there. We also have different form factors and different colours, so we've got the black and blue, black and orange, blue and grey, carbon fibre and silver, and we've got the black and purple. I can't wait to both get my Kiisu and the Tron case for it. Going back to the Kiisu website, we can see that this device has iButton compatibility, sub-gigahertz NFC, RFID. It even has the GPIO ports, so Tron's case also includes GPIO portholes on the back, so you can attach Flipper Zero dev boards to this, and I believe somewhere around 97% of all dev boards are compatible with this device. One caveat of this device is it comes with a button cell battery, so its battery life does not last a long time. For a long period of use, you would need to solder your own LiPo battery to it. So the tech specs for the Kiisu are sub-gigahertz transceiver using a CC1101 with ability to install external antenna. It's got an NFC reader and emulator using an ST25R3916 with a built-in antenna. It has RFID reader and emulator with built-in antenna and an infrared receiver and transmitter. It has GPIO ports, as I alluded to earlier, which is pin compatible with the Flipper Zero. It has Bluetooth Low Energy and iButton functionality as well. Now, in some Eastern European and European countries, I believe they still use the iButton, but it's not something I've seen for some time. The Kiisu also includes a digital accelerometer and compass using an LSM 303 AGR, and it has temperature and humidity sensor using a GXH TC3C, and it also has an ambient light sensor. So all they need to do is add a few more sensors to this, and they could probably turn this into a Pip-Boy. It looks pretty cool. So a gas sensor measuring relative humidity, barometric pressure, ambient temperature, and gas VOC BME 680 can be installed by the user. As I said, they seem to have some intentions there for some really interesting choices with this device, which take it well beyond the use case of the Flipper Zero. And next I want to look at one of my favorite devices. This is the HackRF H4M with the Clifford Heath mod. And now, before I show you the device, I just want to showcase this absolutely beautiful case. So I just want to give a big shout out to Why So Serious on Discord for providing the files for this print, and an even bigger shout out to Neanderthal for not only printing this beautiful case so perfectly, but also not charging me a penny for it. That's an act of kindness that I was not expecting, and I'm incredibly grateful for. So thank you to Neanderthal for this case. It is absolutely beautiful, and just in my color scheme, which is black and green. The HackRF One H4M is a powerful tool which is a combination of a software-defined radio, or SDR, which is called the HackRF1, which is designed by Great Scott Gadgets, and that's paired with the Portapack H4M add-on. And together in this beautiful little funky case, they make a very versatile portable SDR platform ideal for radio frequency experimentation, signal analysis, and cybersecurity testing. Now, as you can see, my splash screen is outdated and I need to update the logo. And I'm not going to go too much into detail on this device, as Snoren has already covered all the basics in his videos. I'll put the link in the description to his video. But essentially, the Portapack comes with a touchscreen, and you get a little jog wheel little here, and it's also interactive by clicking, and it moves there like that. Now you have receive and transmit options, and the device itself is running Mayhem firmware. Now, I haven't played around too much with transmit, but essentially presume that almost everything in that menu is illegal to do. Some things may be legal if you have a ham radio license, and I believe we're allowed to mess around in the sub-gigahertz spectrum a little bit, but you are absolutely not allowed to jam frequencies or interfere with anyone else's operations for wireless frequency operations. But you have receive, transmit, and transceive. You also have apps built into this, and you even got a couple of little games. But on the receive side of things, some really cool things you can do is whenever you're hearing planes going overhead, you can use this app to find out where those planes are going, what they're called, and more details about them. We also have a boat scanner, we've got APRS, we've got audio, Bluetooth receiver, so you can see what Bluetooth devices around you. You've also got your EAT meter, POXAG radio sender, sub-gigahertz, weather, AFSK, ProtoView, NRF, you've got Foxhunt, analog TV. Now, I don't believe this works in the UK anymore because they've turned off analog terrestrial transmissions. But in some countries that might still work. And we have radio too, and if they haven't already, I do believe they're planning on turning off analog radio transmissions at some point, likely. We've got level, we've got Detector, and we've got so much more. But I'll cover this in a future video, if I can find anything to add to what Snoren has already done there. But it comes with a USB port, and on this particular device, as you can see from the back, it is black instead of white. Now what this means is it's using the Clifford Heath mod, but in my case I have the clock in and clock out SMA connectors sold on. Most people do not want that. The HackRF One inside of this is an open source, software-defined radio device that transmits and receives signals from 1 MHz to 6 GHz. It operates in half duplex mode. The HackRF One connects via USB, or it can be used with the Portapack here in standalone mode. It is popular among hobbyists, researchers, and penetration testers. The H4M is an improvement over the previous version, which was the H2M, I believe, due to having an improved battery management and a matte screen now for better outdoor usability. True power-off switch, so when you turn this switch, the battery is actually disconnected, therefore you shouldn't see any power drain. And when you buy this device online from, say, open source SDR Labs or Rabbit Labs, it comes pre-installed with the Mayhem firmware. But there are instructions online to update this device, but I'll cover that in a future video. So the reason why I chose the HackRF One H4M with the Clifford Heath mod rather than the R10 Plus board, as I said previously, it's black versus white, which is the easiest way to tell, is because the Clifford Heath mod has overload protection. And I don't really know what I'm doing with this device, so I'd prefer to have that protection in place. So in summary, the HackRF One H4M can capture and replay radio frequency signals, scan Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GSM and other wireless bands, analyze RFID and NFC systems, detect rogue GSM base stations, and perform penetration testing and wireless security assessment. Now, depending on where you buy it from, the HackRF One H4M can be purchased for roughly between £130 and £180. I'll put a link into the description to the store where I bought mine from. So last but not least, we have the Hak5 Wifi Pineapple pager. Now this is on the higher end of our list here today at $300, but this is, in my opinion, a bit of game-changing technology. Now currently the best option we have available for most of the gadgets is the ESP32C5, which is starting to see adoption, but it might be some time before we see that in wider adoption, whereas Hak5 have now come out with a portable device with a screen that not only has dual band of 2.4 and 5 GHz, but also has tri-band with 6 GHz. And not only that, it includes rubber ducky compatibility, so it can use rubber ducky scripts for payload deployment. The Wi-Fi Pineapple pager is a very interesting release this year indeed, and I very much look forward to getting my pre-order in, which I hope won't be too long. Now we come to the end of my list of hacker gadgets that I've been enjoying in 2025. Thank you very much for sticking around if you got to this point of the video. My name is Og, and contrary to some comments I've seen, I am not an AI. Thank you very much, you all take care, and until next time, bye bye.